Because hey everybody, welcome to Friday edition of Box Seats. Cross. My name is Frank Holder. You know, we trying to get it settled real fast, real, you know, how we normally do. Anyway, I'm with Talent. I'm with Fig. You guys know them. They've been in the comedy business for years. They've been in films, TV, festivals, commercials. They've been doing that thing. They've been doing that thug dizzle since the mid '90s, maybe even earlier. Those guys been, you know, been earlier. Anyway, this is the show where we talk about sports. Comedy, talking about sports. We give a funny spin to it. And then we also talk about some things that related to comedy that could be in the possible future. And I mean the rumors of what's going on in the league and everything else. So with that being said, I do want to talk about the NFL. I do want to talk about that game last night, but I'm going to do that a little bit later because we got to do our picks and all that stuff. And I didn't forget. And since today's Friday, we got to do the top dogs. We're going to handle all that.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, let me jump out and talk to you guys something that I saw last night, because you know I do my homework. I saw last night a huge possibility of a trade, and a possibility of the trade is that the Bulls and the Rockets are talking about a Russell Westbrook trade because Billy Donovan is supposed to be hot on Russell Westbrook. If you are the Bulls, I'm sure you want Russell Westbrook, but I think that messes up the chemistry of what Houston has and what they're doing over there. So, Town, I'm gonna throw it over to you real fast. Do you think that makes sense for Houston to give away Russell Westbrook? And I mean, I think they're on the tail end of the chemistry and stuff they got right now. You think that makes sense for them to do?
No, I mean, they shouldn't. But what did I say yesterday? I think that James Harden is becoming a player killer. Mm-hmm. And these you're getting these high power players. They come in there for a season or two. You're getting rid of them. He's trying to, I don't know, like cheat to a chip by way of another star or whatever. But you gotta play with these dudes for a while, man. You can't keep disrupting the continuity that you get going. Like, it don't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah. If you give it another season or two, you guys will be playing so like smooth and going together like white on rice. But right now, you can't go together like white on rice because you keep trying to cheat. Okay, it didn't work with Chris Paul. Get him out of here. Okay, Westbrook. We fell short. Get him out of here. You keep doing that. That's not the recipe, bro. Even LeBron knew that. And he started all of this manufacturing championship stuff.
Yeah, the funny thing is that there's a lot of pressure in the NBA now more than there ever has been to win now. Like, you know what I mean? If they put together these moves, pressure is to win today. So with that being said, everything Talent said is absolutely right. But let's look, the reality of it is some owners are impatient. You know what I mean? They want to win today. Yeah. You know, now we all know that ain't the right move to make. But Vic, what's your thoughts on this?
The prime example is Steve Ballmer, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't think, honestly, I know this is going to sound maybe cliche, but I don't think there's an owner in the NBA that wants to win as much as Steve Ballmer, you know, since he took over the Clippers, man. I mean, this dude, he reminds me of Mark Cuban. Like, he is super enthusiastic. Mm-hmm. He is there with the team. He's heavily involved. He spends a lot of money, and he is always making moves, man. But here's the thing. When you move guys that quick, it's just like what Talent said. You don't have an opportunity to build up any chemistry. That's what happens when you get a new team together. It seems like there's no opportunity. They don't have chemistry. Like, you don't know, you know, in tough situation where the guy needs the ball, you know what I mean? Or what this guy is going to do under pressure and stuff like that. And that comes with time and chemistry. And, you know, it just you just move too many pieces too soon. And then I'm thinking about myself, who are the Bulls going to give the Rockets for Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, they don't really have nobody.
Fig got a good point, because that's like Danny Green. Danny Green just got to the Lakers. So LeBron don't know that Danny Green don't like to shoot from the top. You gotta play around with somebody to know. Don't give him the ball at the top.
Why you give to him into the key? You gotta give it to him on the wing, man, by the baseline.
Especially when the series is on the line and you trying to win the chip. Don't pass me the ball right there, like, you know.
You're trying to get.
But if you play with this guy for 3 or 4 seasons already, you would know that.
Yeah. I can't dispute that. But let me just take a pause right there, because you said we're talking about putting together teams and everything else, man. I heard I don't know if you guys watched First Take this morning, or at least had it on the background. I heard an interesting conversation about agents. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes with agents that people generally don't know. Chris Paul. I'm not Chris Paul. Oh my God, and I forgot the agent's name. Let me look at my notes. Chris Paul, the agent who's put together the stuff for LeBron, and I can't think of the guy's name. Can you believe that? But anyway, he helps put together a lot of LeBron's deals and things like that. And because he does that, Rich Paul, thank you. Because he does a lot of things like that with a lot of agents going on. Agents have been jealous. If you've watched the conversation or you've been paying attention to what's going on in the NBA for the last couple of years, this brother Rich Paul does not have a degree. They've been throwing things out there saying, why is he able to do this, that, and then he shouldn't be able to do that because he doesn't have a degree. Now, I'm listening to this whole conversation, and I'm going to throw this to you, Town. I'm listening to this whole conversation, and I'm thinking, there've been power agents over the years, all the years. I'm thinking it might be a little bit more than just, it being because it's LeBron's agent. Let me throw it out there to you. When you heard something like that, this brother, he's steering the ship with LeBron, you think it has something to do with color? You think it has something to do with just overall jealousy? You think it has something to do because it's LeBron? I mean, what do you think the whole thing is with this whole thing that everybody's having a conversation? Because they're throwing out a lot of hate. And they literally are trying to set up the things to block some future deals that Rich Paul is trying to assemble for the Lakers. Right. Let's be honest.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. You ever heard it's like, you're all good until you're not. Meaning, I'll tolerate you and what you do until you infringe on what I do. So in this case, Rich Paul is starting to use he's going beyond agent and he's going into mastermind. Okay, if I got these 10 guys I'm repping, how could I create these great situations for these 10 guys? So now he's not just an agent usually until they have to sit back and answer the phone. It ain't until they have to, they pick the phone up. It's like a comedian. You know what I mean? When you're hot, you're just answering calls. Mm-hmm. When you're not hot, you're placing calls. Hey, can I get a weekend over at the club? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. So right now, he has the hot players. You know what I mean? He's not at a point where he's dealing with the old players, LeBron. But LeBron's still considered the best piece in the game at his age right now. So he don't have that problem right now. So now he's starting to get creative. And now to the league and the other agents and people, you're going to get hate from every angle now because you're not just applying a job. You're saying, you calling the team, go, what if we put so-and-so and I give you so-and-so and you sign so-and-so? You got a good team. That's not how it's usually played. Now, the first thing people are going to do when you come out of pocket is start smacking stuff against you like, you ain't even got no degrees. Right. You ain't even certified. You ain't such. So he's going to get that partly because his connection with LeBron. And secondly, he's making creative moves that they're not used to. So you're all good until you infringe on my thing. He's infringing on other people's stuff right now.
Now, everything you said, I have to agree with. Fig, I'm gonna throw this to you and say this. Rich Paul was getting some shade this morning because so-called agents were talking behind his back and saying another agent is really doing all the work. Now, I don't know how you take this and everything else. To me, that's one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard. And I'm saying this because other people are always doing all the work for agents. You know what I mean? It's not like an agent is actually going to sit there and do physically all the work hands-on anyway. You know what I mean? So that don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
I mean, I tell you like this. It's like your best attorney has the best team of paralegals.
Right. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing. It's that degree thing in a lot of instances, not always, but the degree thing was always the carrot that they made you reach for so that you could qualify for the job that they already have. You know what I mean? Equality, when you're privileged, equality seems unfair. You know, these guys have been doing this stuff for all along. Rich Paul comes in, he's attached to LeBron James, and all of a sudden, because he has the hottest athlete in the game, he gets a certain amount of clout, and they don't like that. You know what I mean? Because this is it's still, again, it's the old boys club, and they used to doing things a certain way. And here comes this newcomer, and he's ascending to the top a little too fast for the guys that's already been there. Sort of like what we said about guys like a Steve Nash, who has never coached anywhere, and he ended up in Brooklyn. Nobody's making any noise about that. But when you have a certain complexion, it's frowned upon when the people who are in charge or the gatekeepers seem like you're equal. They don't want you to be equal to them. They don't want you to have that same kind of power.
Let me piggyback off of exactly what you said, because I agree with you 100%. And I'm gonna even top it with a notch of this. I think that everything you said is true. Everything Talent said is true. And I think it's all stemming from the latest rumor, which is that the Lakers are trying to get Chris Paul and Derrick Rose and put them together on the team. And it's causing a lot of friction amongst the agents talking to themselves of how the Lakers are putting together a monstrous super team, and they're mixing and matching and moving pieces. And let's be honest with you, they will be able to afford it once they lose half the team, because they're about to lose their team. You know, a lot of members are going to lose their team. They're about to lose a lot of these guys. But Chris Paul, because he has such a great Rich Paul, because he has such a great relationship with the Lakers through LeBron, he's still going to be able to stack the team up. And I think that's what's causing a lot of the people having all this stuff to say. Now, mind you, I'm not a Lakers fan. I don't care. I'm just saying on a reality level, looking at it from overall, Talent, I'm going to throw it to you. Looking at it from overall, can't you? I mean, that's what it looked like, right? To me.
Yeah, but again, Frank, he's doing too much.
Right.
I'm not saying for me. I'm proud of him, but I'm saying to these people that he's getting the hate from, he's doing too much. You know what he's actually doing? He can actually be owning a team without owning a team.
Like, so let's say right now with the Lakers, because that's what
you own the Lakers without owning the Lakers. Let's say I represent 6-7 dudes, and I somehow miraculously get all 6-7 of my dudes on the Lakers with LeBron.
What he does. Let's be honest. He does. Right now, he got Caldwell Pope. He got McGee. He got LeBron. He got AD. I mean, he does. He does.
You have your own team. Of course, they're gonna hate him.
Yo,
this brother.
Think.
This brother done went to the playground. You know how we play pickup ball, and picked up a team.
He picked up all the good guys. He said, "Listen, let me tell you what the problem is. I'm gonna make it very simple. I'm going to say two things, and it's going to wrap this whole thing up. He's making moves, and the rest of these guys are naked and afraid." He took 3 giant steps without saying, "May I?"
Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly. And let's be honest. I don't even listen. Of course, the color thing is out there. I think the color thing is just the tip of the iceberg. I think it's super huge jealousy because he's so young, and he's so young, and he's making such huge power moves, and he's doing these power moves because he got LeBron in his corner. Now, I think he's going to be judged by the moves he's making. Of course, money got a lot to do with it. Of course that. But he's making these power moves because he got LeBron. Now, and on top of that, he is able to make these chess moves with LeBron in his corner, and he basically has the permission of Jeannie Buss on the Lakers. They're sitting there with Rob Pelinka. They're saying, Paul, whatever you think we need to do, let's make this happen, because I like the way you assembled the team, because you got us just now a championship. With you being able to get us AD, you got us a championship. Now let's look at it from this perspective, Talent. Suppose LeBron retires tomorrow. Do you think he ends up staying to be a power agent the way we see it? Or do you think he goes from here all the way down because now LeBron retired? You know what I mean? And I don't think so, but he goes from here to here.
No, I think, and this goes back to what we initially were saying. I think all these things are about to building blocks to set him up to stand up as this power player and agent. Mm-hmm. Because you got to realize, even when LeBron retires, I don't see LeBron going away from the game. He might stop playing, but I see LeBron, he's a businessman. I see LeBron opening up and owning his own ownership of agencies, and then pushing out more agents and more players and recruits, and they're going to be intricately developing these players that's coming in behind them. Mm-hmm. I see LeBron doing that. When you look at LeBron and how he mentors his son and his ball playing, I see LeBron being that for other players. So get used to it. LeBron's not going nowhere. And if LeBron's not going nowhere, Rich Paul's not going nowhere.
Right. Now,
it's going to be a big conglomerate, I guarantee.
Now, what you said makes sense, but if Rich Paul stays and just stays as a sports agent and LeBron leaves, I think it could affect him unless he lands other big agents. I mean, other big, sports figures also. You know what I mean? I think he's going to have to get a couple of other big names. Yeah, I mean, you never know. He might even be able to.
I don't think so. Not if he's still in bed. If he's still in bed, so to speak, and in business with LeBron, he's still going to have that clout. Trust what I tell you.
He will. But I'm talking
it's
about
like Magic.
I'm talking about
Magic has a never-ending clout over there.
Right, but I'm talking about in the sports world of being able to mix and match players. Like you're right with everything you said, right? But I'm talking about, does Rich Paul still become a powerful eight?
Yes, absolutely. If he's still attached, listen to what I'm saying. If he's still attached business-wise to LeBron, absolutely, because every kid right now that's trying to get to the league, LeBron is their Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. So right. He's that worm on the hook. So guess what? Like we were all over Zion coming out. Mm-hmm. All those guys that the hype is on when they're coming out, you dangling LeBron over here at this company. This is such and such, for lack of a better term. It's LeBron's basketball agency, right? So you dangle, who don't want to sign with that? Everybody who was anybody wanted to sign with Michael Jordan's shoe company. Because it was Jordan.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let me, since you brought up Zion, should Rich Paul land Zion, take Zion under his wing, Fig, and to continue legacy, or is it going to be just like what Fig said? I mean, just what Talent said, and it doesn't regardless of what happens, they still going to be a powerful player in the game.
Well, the players' talent and ability speaks for themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what gets them where they need to be. The agent makes the deals, but I think in the very beginning, Rich Paul did have he did want to sign a Zion, but Zion decided to go with another agency. Will that change later on down the line? Possibly. But here's the thing: it's like you said, or what I believe is that although LeBron is the figurehead over that company, I think that Rich Paul will need some other players when LeBron retires, some marquee players to be able to make the moves that he's making now. But he does have AD, and he does have a few other players. I don't know. I can't say off the top of my head, but I know he has AD. He has Anthony Davis, and I don't see Anthony Davis retiring when LeBron retires because he's still, he's young. He's still a superstar. If he's still affiliated with the Lakers, that's a storybook franchise. I mean, the two most storybook franchises in the entire NBA is the Lakers and the Celtics. They both have the most wins. So if he's attached to that organization, which is storybook, he still has a marquee player, top 5, definitely. And I can't see him not being able to recruit just like anybody else. It's almost like when Pat Riley's trying to close a deal, he throws out the championship rings. Well, you got LeBron in your corner and you already have a track record of winning. I think, and getting great deals, great financial deals for your players.
Right.
I mean, that goes a long way. I mean, it's a new day, and the old guard doesn't like it. There's a change in the guard, and the old guard just doesn't like it, and they complain and they making noise because a lot of that money that Rich Paul is making would be going to them.
All right, let's keep the conversation going. Let me bring up a couple of other things. I want to still stay in the NBA before we jump into the NFL, and then we got to bring in Rodney Perry and hit. The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, are starting to make a little bit of noise too because everybody's thinking that they're going to pick LaMelo Ball, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the case because word has been leaking out that they're looking at this kid who's a center named James Wiseman from the Memphis Tigers. And they're thinking that Golden State might actually pick him with the number 2 pick and then possibly pick him and then maybe trade him or possibly pick him and keep him. If you were the Golden State Warriors, I don't know. I'll say this, Talent. If they're Golden State Warriors, I don't think getting James Wiseman is a bad idea because getting a center is something that you could always use if you're Golden State. You know what I mean? Because especially this kid's supposed to be a beast when it comes down to getting offensive rebounds. So I'm going to throw it to you, Talent. If you're Golden State, we've had this conversation before, but now since this new rumor floated across. If you're going, you keep this kid who's supposed to be a phenomenal center, or what you thinking about? What do you think they should do?
Good question. I think that I think you still you give that up. I don't think you keep the kid. I think I'm gonna go with the same thing we just said about AD and guys like Zion. I think, believe it or not, I think that Golden State's in a good position to use that and get the chips like we were talking about a couple of days ago, instead of trying to keep the guy coming from college. Because I think they're cocky, man. I think they don't feel they've been playing as many years as they have.
Okay.
So I think that they're looking at themselves like we are the youngsters. You know what I mean? Why we don't have to go get a youngster. We are the youngsters. Let's plug a hole we have over here. Use this high draft pick for somebody who really needs it and can use it to see if they got something we want to plug our holes if we think we got holes. I really think they think they're young.
I agree with you. I
don't think they're gonna do it.
All right, Fig, I'm gonna ask you a different question because I want to make up some time real fast. I hear also that the Nets are looking at trying to make some kind of major trades. There's 5 stars who the Nets are looking at. It's Bradley Beal, Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, Drew Holiday, and Victor Oladipo. And the word is around the bonfire, so to speak, quote unquote, so to speak. The word is that the Nets are trying to land a guard or so somebody because they're expecting Kyrie Irving to get hurt. Out of those players I named, who do you think is the better fit with the Nets? You think it's Oladipo, Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, Bradley Beal, or Paul George?
Well, my first thought was Oladipo. To me, Paul George would be the worst worst selection to go to that team, especially if you need a point guard. I like Oladipo, but I'm not sure how healthy Oladipo is. You know what I mean? Bradley Beal, good God. Woo! With those cats, I'm like, man. Drew Holiday too. Like, you can't go wrong with either one of those guys. I forget the last one you said, but I don't like Paul George at all. Victor Oladipo, Drew Holiday, Bradley Beal. Who was the other one?
Oladipo, Holiday, DeRozan, Beal, and
DeRozan. Yeah. I'm not sure about DeRozan either. DeRozan is serviceable. He's mainly his game is mid-range. He's not the high percentage 3-point shooter. So although they have a lot of scorers over there, not sure what you want to do with DeRozan. He's not a point guard either. So if you're thinking about somebody to back up Kyrie, I think Drew Holiday or Victor Oladipo would probably be the best fit. But going back to the other thing, I think Golden State, the piece that they're missing is a center.
Okay, all right. I don't want to go backwards. Let me move forward. Let me ask you this question. I got to keep the thing going. Since Fig said what he said about Paul George, let me ask you. Paul George right now is supposed to be the hot topic that the Clippers are trying to put on the trading block right now. I want to say to you this. If Paul George gets traded, it's a possibility that he could get traded. Could you see him moving to the East Coast with the East Coast team? And will the Clippers actually make that trade?
Well, I mean, obviously, I can see him going to the East because remember, he's an Indiana Pacer originally. You know what I mean? So that East to West makes no difference. I think they will trade him. So I think his best bet is to come back East, but he's definitely tradable and trade bait. And you can tell by I'm always on Twitter and stuff like that, social media. You can tell by everybody's comments that there is definitely some in-house friction going on. Right. So even if they woke up and wanted to change their mind and keep him, I don't know if they could.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't think East is a big jump for him because he came from Indiana Pacers.
I can't disagree with you saying that. Fig, we got to start talking about the NFL. I'm going to throw this out there to you because I know you saw the game last night with the Giants. I know you saw the Eagles game. I'm going to throw this out there to you. When Daniel, what's the quarterback for the Giants name?
Jones.
Yeah. Daniel Jones. He does that fumble and everything else. Do you think that New York City as a whole, or state as a whole, do you think they have finally given up, on the Giants and say, you know what, we want you all to tank and we want to try to get Trevor Lawrence up in here as a New Yorker, and how you feel about what you saw last night with the game?
No. And as a Giants fan, let me tell you this. I was pleasantly surprised from what I've seen Daniel Jones do, man. He's was this like his second year in the NFL?
Yeah.
You know, guys don't really. Most guys coming into a professional league, they don't usually gel for a few years. You know what I mean? You know, I know we're in an instant world where everything is microwave and people want automatic success, but I don't see that. I think Daniel Jones is a serviceable quarterback, and I don't think that he was the reason that they lost that game. That game was lost on the defense. I blame that game on the coach. Let me tell you something. This is one thing that my pet peeve about, and I hate using pet peeve. My one problem with NFL football is when they get a lead and the other team has the ball, they go into this thing called the prevent defense.
Mm-hmm.
The prevents defense, the only thing that it does is prevent your team from winning. Because I've never seen it actually work. I mean, the Giants was kicking the Philadelphia Eagles behind all over the field for the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 5 minutes, they switch up and do something else. Could you tell me why? When something is working, why would you change up and do something else? That didn't make no sense to me. You was getting to the quarterback. You was rushing him. You was hurrying him. He couldn't get the ball downfield. So now all of a sudden with 5 minutes left, you're going to change from what's actually working to do something else? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It's even worse. It's even worse because when you see the highlights of the game, it made Carson Wentz look like he was a beast last night. When we all saw the game, he was horrible for most of the game.
Yeah, until the last 5 minutes when he started when they won.
I say it all the time. There's no room for conservativeness in football.
Yeah.
There's no room for it. And this was the old. Thank God for Mahomes in Kansas City. Thank God for him, because without him, we were probably looking at 10 more years of this crap with Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't dispute that. Yeah,
he changed Andy Reid from this super conservative. Now, don't get me wrong. Andy Reid has always been a good coach, but the difference in good and great with him is at the end of every game, fourth quarter, he goes into conservative mode. You know how many times the brother lost a playoff game because he had the lead and try to do football's no room for concern. 8 minutes is too much clock to eat up by playing prevent or sitting back or stop attacking. You know, stop attacking is a whole quarter left to play. We've seen in football how long you stretch 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Right. So, I would venture to say that if they would have kept, if the Giants would have kept their defense the same way that they played for the first 3 quarters and maybe 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, they would have won that game, because there's no way that the Eagles scored twice in 5 minutes. It would have been literally impossible. They was getting to the quarterback, that was rushing, it was hurrying. They was doing everything they could to win, and then they just gave the game away. And that is not on Daniel Jones. It's just not. I mean, he made a couple of mistakes, but he's a second year quarterback. If you don't expect mistake from a second year quarterback, there's something wrong with you. But he did enough to win the game. If the defense plays and does their end on what it is that they're supposed to do, the Giants win that game going away by maybe 10 points. There's no way that the Eagles get to catch them. And Carson Wentz did not look good until the last 5 minutes of the game. He just didn't.
Town, do you think that the New York media is going to let up on the Giants about, because I mean, it seems like right this morning they have so much pressure on trying to get on the New York football team as a whole to get Trevor Lawrence and to start tanking and like that's the whole conversation. Where you look at the papers, look at the website, it's all about, listen, we need to get Trevor Lawrence. They basically want to do this with Daniel Jones and be like, we done with this dude. That's smart move. I don't understand it at all. I think Daniel Jones is a pretty good quarterback. To me. That
move would be anything but smart. He's a decent quarterback. He's shown he can play this game with the best of them. You got to start thinking other pieces, man. That's the thing about football. I'm starting to think that everybody's watching TV and not watching the stats or the workouts or all those other positions that make that position shine. People always looking at the quarterback and not realizing it's everything around the quarterback that allows him to shine. Like if you don't have a line, you get to them. You know what I mean? You don't have a run game. You got to throw 90% of the time. I figured that out on the defense. So it's not that the quarterback's not good. You didn't put the pieces in place to allow this guy to have a chance to show you his best. He can't show you his best if he's not allowed to. I remember playing pickup in the projects, and the biggest argument was, do we do 5 Mississippi or 3 Mississippi?
Yeah.
Because do I give you 3 seconds or 5 and come, and that was the biggest argument. The people who didn't want to get hit, obviously they wanted more seconds. The people who thought they had skills, I don't care.
Right. Yeah, man,
I'm
going to tell you like this. I'm looking for the Giants to wise up, and I'm looking for the Michael Strahan, the Jason Pierre-Paul. Where's the Lawrence Taylors? Where's the Harry Carsons? Like, where's the defense to put fear in the other teams? Mind. Where's that in a football game?
Players are not there. That's the problem. But let me ask you.
So I'm looking for if we go back to the defense that the Giants had when they were winning, there's no way that they lose that game last night because Daniel Jones did enough to win.
Since you have the floor, Fig, let me throw this out to you. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about coach or player. Coach or player. You know what I mean? We were having this conversation. Okay. So now, knowing what you know now, see what you've seen now. And of course, we're still talking about the New York football teams, or hell, we're talking about any of the bad teams right now. Knowing what you know now, especially with Minnesota trying to get rid of Kirk Cousins and everything else, do you change your stance on coach or player? Is you move one way or the other, looking at what's going on with the Giants and looking at what's going on with the Jets and looking at what's going on, because the Jets have some good players. The Giants have some good players. Right now, look at what's happening with Dallas. Dallas has some great players. Do you feel now more so than you did before that it's more about coach, or you still stick with saying it's players?
You know what? The coach can put you in a position to win, but you need the players that have the ability to execute your plan.
Mm-hmm.
In some instances, it's actually both. It's a combination of the two. Because I don't care what kind of scheme you have, if you don't have the athletes with the ability to execute, it just doesn't work. The only team that we know, here's a feather in your cap, Frank. The only team that we know seems to take no-name players and turn it into wins is New England and Bill Belichick. He's the only one. So is that an anomaly? Or, is it something that can be done? We've never seen a team that's void of talent be able to win. The word for the day is anomaly.
Let me say this. I don't disagree with what you're saying. But I will say this. Every team has players who start being nobody and then become being somebody, if that makes sense to you. They become a star somewhere on the team. You don't walk in being a star when you're a rookie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So every team has that. Look at Saquon Barkley last year when he walked in. Like, if you didn't watch college football, you had no clue about college football. You wouldn't have known who this kid was. He came in and immediately became a star. So I'm gonna throw that question.
Too. I didn't know who Odell was.
Name anybody.
Right.
It's the same thing. Name anybody. So Talon, I'm gonna throw the question to you, because last time we asked this question, you were more so along the lines of it's player. I'm gonna say this to you now. Let's revisit this before we bring in Rodney, because we gotta bring in Rodney in 60 seconds. I want to say to you, you got 60 seconds. Do you lean more now saying it's the coach that makes the team, or are you gonna still stick with it's the players? The players make or break you.
I'm gonna stick with what I got, and I'm gonna put this right here to add to that. I think when it comes to making a team, I still believe it's the player, but breaking a team, I'll give you that. The coach can do that, because at the end of the day, the coach can say to not give this person reps, to not play this person a certain amount of minutes, to not go with that game plan. Perfect example, Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect example. Everybody and their mother was ready to jump on Russell Westbrook and the players for that last play when they could have scored and won that Super Bowl.
Russell Wilson.
Pete Carroll jumped in front of that sword so fast after that game. No. My dumbass made that play. That was my
because he didn't give it to beast mode.
Now imagine if the coach don't man up to that. He just go into the tunnel and run. Some players would have caught somebody would have probably killed themselves that night.
Yo, you know what else, Frank? When Bill Belichick decided not to play that with the defensive end, the defensive end in the Super Bowl, Malcolm what's his name? Malcolm Butler. He decided not to play him. He left him, told him the day of the game, the day of the Super Bowl, and I'm not playing you. Kept him on. The kid was on the sideline crying because he couldn't get in the game, and they lost.
Okay, I want to talk about that some more, but right now, my man Rodney Perry hits his time to I agree or I disagree, but the segment's really called I Disagree. So, Rodney Perry, I know you disagree with a lot of stuff we said, so where do you want to start first?
You know, man, it really interests me how the LeBron hate continues. You know, I don't know what the guy. I don't know what else the guy can do. I mean, he won his championships. He defies gravity. He's a good swimmer. He kind of just does a lot of things well.
He swims too.
He plays tennis, rugby. I don't know if this is true, but they say that he's even like a world-class pianist. And he plays the flute. But look, the hate is so... I mean, I won't even call it hate, but I mean, y'all little jokes, you know. It's just really interesting. And then we end up talking about Rich Paul as if he's not the best agent in the league.
Yeah, he's the best.
As if his players aren't making money better than any other players in the league. And it's not just LeBron James.
Right.
His only client is let's go down the list. AD.
Right.
Eric Bledsoe. John Wall. All these players got paid while they was in the bubble too. Ben Simmons. Draymond Green. Yusuf Nurkic. Lonzo Ball. OG Anunoby. Now,
he made J.R. Smith some money too. Don't leave that out, Rodney.
He made a lot of people some money.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so I mean, and what you got to get these guys. LeBron has 4 guys. I don't know if y'all watch a documentary about his guys.
Yeah,
he's got like 4 guys around him. It's a great documentary. It's on ESPN Plus, and these guys all worked really hard to make a name for themselves. They knew they were in LeBron's shadow. It's like talent. You got guys. You go to the roof. Your guys got to make a name for themselves. Right. And these guys each, especially Rich Paul, made a name for themselves. Their TV company is ran by one of his guys. LeBron is handled by one of his guys from back in the day. And so at some point you got to get a guy credit. And he did all this without no daddy.
Mm-hmm.
No daddy. That means something. Old Giants. I of course I picked the
Philly.
I picked Philly, and I looked at the game. I was like, I lost.
I felt the same way.
I lost. I picked Philly. I lost. And then the Giants. It's interesting to hear my fellow world-renowned comedians pontificate over the Giants as if
the word for the day is pontificate.
And to hear my guys, and I know what it is because I'm that way. When you get to talking about the Bears and what they should do, when you start talking about the Bulls and what they should do, it's emotional. But let's be clear. The Giants are who we thought they were.
Yes.
This was absolutely the Dookie Bowl. We knew that going into the game. It was the Dookie Bowl. It was a 1-5 team versus a 1-4-1 team. They're both horrible. But who's horribler? The Giants. And it's sad. It's sad. I expect more out of New York. You got Jay-Z in New York, for God's sakes.
Yes.
50 Cent from New York.
Yes.
Talent. Fig. How dare they be horrible?
I agree.
How dare they? But guess what? They're probably not New Yorkers.
Mm.
You guys got to talking about Daniel and how maybe he should stay. Maybe because he's a young kid, but let's not make excuses. He's not good. Okay, let's go down some people that's good. Aaron Rodgers, good. Tom Brady, good. Drew Brees, good. I actually looked it up as y'all was talking. I Googled good quarterbacks. Guess who's not on the list? I can't make this stuff up, guys. I'm not relying on my comedic prowess to bring your team down. I would never do that. I looked up good QBs. It was a list of 50 of them. Guess who wasn't on the list?
Oh man.
I saw a play. I don't know if this was there a play where a quarterback took the ball naked bootleg wide open down the field and fell before he scored? Did that happen?
Yeah.
Was it, no,
he scored? You know,
The turf came up and grabbed him.
they said in the video that Casper the Friendly Ghost tackled him. It has to be frustrating. I've been through it. I've been through it in Chicago. We don't have our QB. We had a horrible QB situation for years, but we aren't as disillusioned as you guys are.
Ooh.
And you guys,
Another word for today is disillusioned.
Sum it all up. LeBron is great, greater than we know. I heard he makes furniture during the off season, and Rich Paul helps him.
Oh God!
yeah, Rodney, don't go nowhere because we got to do our picks. We got to do our picks this week. That's Rodney Perry, y'all, with
And the top dogs.
Yes, and the top dogs. So look, we got my man Stack. What's going on?
What's up, fellas?
Tell me everything.
Stack?
What did we do wrong, real fast?
Y'all did good. Y'all did real good. The only thing is, Rodney said that he picked Philly, but he feel like he still lost. And in fact, Rodney, you picked Philly and you won, just like Stack did. He picks a team and he
You
wins.
always find that way to
Yo,
Pick a
Stack, I'm gonna
team.
take that Monday pick away
And he
from
would
you.
take
Keep
it
up.
away, bro. I'm just take it away.
Take it away. I told y'all to take it two
It's like
days.
a technical. It's like a technical foul, technical free throw. Take it. I'm still up 20. I mean, what's up, bro?
No,
Nah,
you
not
only
up.
listen,
Beat me.
Stack.
Not up
Beat
20.
me.
You be only up
Beat
one.
Let's go through the picks. Let's go through the picks. We gotta go through the picks fast. We gotta do top dogs too. So the Lions are playing the Falcons. Does anybody here got the Falcons? Everybody got the Lions? Anybody got
I
the
got
Falcons?
the Falcons.
I got the
I got
Falcons.
I got the Falcons.
Hey,
Oh,
yeah.
Raheem gonna coach them boys. And to answer your question, it's coaching. It's coaching. You need coaching more than you need players.
Rise
Okay,
up.
so Stack, you got the Falcons?
Yeah, I got the Falcons.
Rodney got the Falcons?
I got the Falcons. I got Coach Raheem over the Detroit nobody.
And
Falcons.
you
Everybody
got
got who you got, Frank?
Hold on. Talent, you got Falcons?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Lions.
So Frank got the Lions.
Browns against the Bengals. Stack, who you got? Browns against the Bengals.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna go with the Browns though.
Okay, I got the Browns. Rodney, who you got? Browns against the Bengals.
What Stack say?
He said he got the Browns.
You got the Browns.
Me too.
Tell who you got?
I'm gonna go because the Bengals gave them a good game last week. I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Okay. Hey, who you got?
I'm going with the Browns.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with the Browns. Packers are playing the Texans. Is there anybody taking the Texans?
Nah.
I take Packers coming off a loss, you win.
Yeah, okay, everybody's taking the Packers. The Panthers are playing the Saints. It's 3-2 versus 3-3. Stack, who you got? Panthers or the Saints?
The Aints.
Who you got, Rodney?
I take Drew Brees.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints too. Talon, who you got?
I'm gonna take the Saints.
Figs.
Saints.
Okay, Bills are playing the Jets. Anybody taking the Jets?
Bills.
I didn't think anybody taking the Jets. The Cowboys.
I'm gonna take the Bills.
Yeah, that's what I said. Everybody.
Talent.
I don't think anybody. Anybody.
Bill.
Take your guys, man. Don't leave them now.
Put some money on it, Talent.
Cowboys are
I
playing.
gotta go with the Bills, man.
Cowboys are playing the football.
Wow.
It's a New York team. It's New York.
Wow.
Talent, who you got? Cowboys or Washington?
That's a stinky ass game.
Yeah, it is. It really
You know
is.
what? I really think the Cowboys are depleted. I'm gonna go with Washington to win this one.
Okay, Fig, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys because Zeke said that he owes his team.
All right, Stack, who you think? Who you got?
Same thing. I got Zeke for the win.
Yeah, I got Cowboys too. Rodney, who you got?
I mean, you gotta go with the Cowboys. I don't care what they call a team. They are the Indians, and Cowboys always beat the Indians.
All right, Seahawks against the Cardinals. Anybody got Seahawks versus the Cardinals? Let me start with Stack. Seahawks versus Cardinals. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Seattle.
Okay, Rodney, who you got?
Man, that little boy is kind of exciting over there, but I'm gonna have to go with the great quarterback in Seattle.
It's like Russ versus Baby Russ.
Yeah, exactly. Now, who you got? Seahawks versus Cardinals.
I think the Cardinals, man.
Okay, Fig, who you got?
This is
I'm going with Russell Wilson and Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take the Seahawks. I kind of want to take the Cardinals, but I'm gonna lean with the Seahawks.
Antonio Brown is in Seattle.
He about to be.
He about to be.
I don't understand why Talent.
He's not playing this week though.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Talent be giving up points. Like, you know, the easy picks. You know, he always want to bet with his heart. He like Mike D'Antoni. He don't want to play no defense.
All right. Well, we got to go through this because I got to get my man Fig to do his thing. Chiefs are playing the Broncos. Stack, who you got? Chiefs or Broncos?
Chiefs.
Rodney, Chiefs, Broncos.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Fig.
That's a no-brainer.
And the Chiefs gonna win the barbecue contest later that night.
All right, the 49ers are playing the Patriots. I got the Patriots. Stack, you got the Patriots?
I got the Pats.
Okay, Rodney, who you got?
Who quarterbacking?
Garoppolo.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo's quarterbacking against Cam Newton.
Jimmy G, baby.
Rodney, who you got?
I'm gonna take the Patriots.
Fig, who you got?
Cam coming off a loss.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going with San Francisco.
Okay,
San
Talon, who you got?
Francisco.
Who you got?
San Fran.
Okay, Buccaneers are playing the Raiders. Is there anybody taking the Raiders?
Not this time. Not this time.
That's not with that old line on that COVID list. I don't think anybody gonna take the Raiders.
When Ndamukong Suh and Jason Pierre.
I'm going with Tampa. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
Steelers are playing the Titans. Is there anybody 5-0 versus 5-0? I got the Titans. Stack, who you got?
Tennessee.
Rodney, who you got?
This why I pull ahead.
Okay.
Steelers.
That's what he lose at. Fig, who you got?
I'm going with Ben Fatburger.
Okay, tell who you got.
I'm going with the Titans, bro.
I'm going to Titans too. Jaguars versus the Chargers. I'll start with you, Talent. Jaguars versus the Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers all day. That's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, I got the Chargers myself. Fig, who you got?
I'm going. Is that young boy playing? The young boy quarterback?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Chargers.
I got no faith in the young boy, but I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay.
I'm going with Frank's darling, Herbert. We're going to take the Chargers.
The Bears are playing the Rams. That's a 5-1 versus a 4-2 team. I'm gonna start with Rodney Perry because this is Bears.
It's a no-brainer. I'm gonna be unlike my fellow compadre here, and I'm gonna take my team, the Bears.
Okay. Who you got? The Bears against the Rams.
Shoot. You know what? I'm gonna rock with Rodney on this one. I'm
Bears go to 6-1 with this.
The Bears.
6-1.
Tell who you got?
I'm going to Rams. The Rams gonna ram that ass.
Greg, who you got?
Pause.
Ouch.
Yeah, pause.
Ouch. Ouch.
Pause. I'm going with Chicago, man.
All right, I will say I am officially going with the Bears too, and we already know who won between the Giants and the Eagles. So now it's time for us to move on because we got to move this thing fast. It's my man Fig with the top dogs, and if you're not familiar with the show, the top dogs are the 5 top players.
I got the top dogs. If you ready for the top dogs, let me hear your ball. Ladies and gentlemen, the top dogs of the week. We going all across the board this week. I gotta go with one of my top dogs, the 23-year-old Teofimo Lopez beat Vasily Lomachenko for the undisputed lightweight champ last week, Saturday. He got 4 belts. The man is a 4-time champion all across the board. Teofimo Lopez, the 23-year-old 4-time champion. I got my man Ben Fatburger Roethlisberger, ladies and gentlemen of the Pittsburgh Steelers, beating the hell out of the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield. It was a rout, another mollywop is what we call it, ladies and gentlemen. 38-7, giving it to Fat Ben Roethlisberger. Here we go. This is the all-time favorite, Tom Terrific Brady of the Tampa Bay Bucks, the AARP quarterback, the noodle arm, the Geritol QB, ladies and gentlemen.
You hear that?
That bad man, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, with the smackdown, even made Aaron Rodgers look ordinary with 2 almost pick sixes, beating them 38-10. Ladies and gentlemen, I got another one. I got that Lilliputian, the Mighty Mouse himself, Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals, smashing the Cowboys and making them look like, they just made them look terrible, looking like the accident waiting to happen, ladies and gentlemen, beating them down 38-10. The Lilliputian himself, Kyler Murray. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I got to give it to my man. If you want to put money on it, put your money on bets, baby. Mookie Betts in game number 1 of the World Series, ladies and gentlemen, standing up for the former Brooklyn, now LA Dodgers. Mookie Betts, ladies and gentlemen, with 3 stolen bases, a steal of a home run, catching it at the wall, smacking one over the wall himself, single-handedly smashing the Tampa Bay Rays. I got to give it to Mookie Betts. And ladies and gentlemen, those are my top dogs of the week. If you're with me, let me hear your ball.
I gotta say,
don't look happy. Look. He's so upset about the dog.
Great segment, Fig. Great segment, dog.
Thank you.
How you call Tom Brady doodle arm? I don't have Tom Brady send you a email, man, text message. How I get Tom dog to be a doodle arm?
Did everybody notice I had to throw one of those country dogs in there?
Oh, Yeller.
All right, it's that time. We got to wrap up the show. We will be back Monday. I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be the top dogs next week after this weekend. The World Series is kicking off tonight. Game 3 is kicking off. And, of course, we got some big games coming up this weekend. Some games might even be postponed. I'm throwing it out there right now. That Raiders game against Tampa Bay, if they get one positive test, they might postpone the whole thing. But we got to get ready to go out of here. Talent. Tell everybody how they can.
Hey, man, I'm jumping on Twitter right now at It's Just Comedy. Instagram, Talent the Comedian, and Facebook, Team Talent House.
Big. Tell everybody how they can.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find your boy Fig on social media platforms at Comedian Fig. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, there ain't no sex in the champagne room. I don't care what they tell you.
Rodney Perry.
Yo, hey, I just started a new Patreon page. I need y'all to follow my Patreon page and subscribe to All Things Rodney, man. And we got a lot of stuff, exclusive content over there. And right now I'm in Chicago. Just got here this morning, and I'll be at the Riddles tonight in Chicago. If you're in Chicago, come holler at your boy. There may be like 3 tickets left on all shows. Holler at your boy.
Now, you know, Stack, he wasn't picking against Chicago being in Chicago. Tell everybody how they can find you, Stack.
Y'all can find me 3 places, okay? You can find me on Twitter at Stackinova. Y'all can find me on Instagram at Stackinova. And the third place you can find me is somewhere wondering why I didn't make Figs top dogs. I've been whooping their asses every week with these picks, and he's never coming on the top dogs.
You always find that in every week. Anyway,
Yo,
y'all.
man, should I give y'all the standings so
Yes.
far?
What's the score?
We got Rodney Perry at 33. We got Frank at 35. We got Talent at 38. We got Fig at 36. We got Stacks at 39.
Who the top dog?
You only got me by one.
We got about 1 point, Stack.
Let's do it after this week.
But it's a tie because he lose that point.
No, I took that point away, so he's only up by 1.
Thank you, Rodney.
You know, I'm like the Rich Paul of the box seats. You know, y'all just trying to hold a brother down. I'm trying to hold a brother. It's all right, though. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
All right, Rich Paul. All right, Rich Paul.
It's all right.
All right, Rich Paul.
Or is it Chris Paul? Which one is it?
Both.
Both.
They both top
Cliff.
dogs.
He's Cliff Paul.
We'll see
No, it's
Hey.
Daniel Paul.
We'll see
All
y'all
you gotta worry about is that as long as you not
Still
Google.
about the box.
Shut up, Tyler.
Tell a friend,
Shut your
tell a
mouth.
friend. Whatever you do, please call your cable service provider to get them to add us too. We'll see y'all Monday, and I got to deal with these dudes all weekend long too. Y'all should see the chain of text messages. One day I'm gonna put them up because there's comedy in that all by itself. You know, I'm gonna put that because you guys get a chance to see it. You see what it is right now, just for an hour. See y'all Monday. Take it easy.